Let's start making our way back, everybody. This is going to be the hardest part. A lot of people get tripped up on subject-verb agreement. It's going to make your head spin a little bit, but I'm going to teach you the formula. And once you get the formula down, you should be able to get any subject-verb agreement question thrown at you. There's not that many on the test, but I do teach it just in case you do get it. So as we return to our screens, I'll give you a minute to kind of settle in, because you don't want to skip this. If you miss the first part of what I'm saying, you're going to be lost for the rest of the explanation. So again, if everybody can return to their screens, because the most important part is what I'm just about to tell you. Okay? Okay, we still have some people that are not back with us, so hopefully you will come back to this screen. Okay, I see that. Good. I'm starting to see people come back now. Good. All right, that's better, because it's a lot to try to repeat myself on this particular concept. So if you can catch it the first time, it would be great. Here we go. Okay, everybody, so on your screen should be showing the subject-verb agreements, the tricky ones. You should all have this as well in your notes. So let me just go ahead and explain it, and we'll go from there. So what we have in English, you have to have subjects and verb agree. So if we have a singular subject, we have to have a verb form that looks singular. And if you have a plural subject, then you have to have the verb form look plural. We don't even think about that as English speakers because it's just native and natural to us. But we do have forms. If we have a singular subject, we have a singular verb form. Plural subject, plural verb form. Well, let me focus on the singular for right now, because the singular ones are the ones that are tricky. Okay? And only certain types are tricky. Most of the time, I'd say 95% of the time, you guys are going to get subject verb because it's natural to you. But Post will put on the tricky ones. So that's why I bring it to your attention. So there is a formula that I made up that will show you a real quick way of seeing how does the verb form look if it's singular and how does it look if it's plural. Well, okay, take a look over here, everybody. Okay, and this is a problem. For some reason, my pencil won't draw. So there. So if we have a singular verb, it has an S on it. And I'm talking about third person singular. And what I mean by that is, as long as I'm not talking I, and as long as I'm not talking with the pronoun you, anything else is called third person. He, she, it, table, chair, anything that's not me or not you is called third person. Okay? Third person verbs, when they're singular, have an S on them. Third person subjects that are plural, the verb will have no S. And that's why I say plural verb equals minus S and singular verb equals plus S. Okay? I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to see if I can go out to my dashboard and then come back in and see if that resets my pencil, which it doesn't. Okay, well, for some reason it got messed up. All right, so let's take a look at subjects that are singular. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write here. So a singular verb has like goes, tries, sleeps. Okay, so and a plural verb looks like this: go, try, sleep. Okay, let me move that down. So if I'm a singular verb, I have an S. See that? Goes, tries, sleeps. He goes, he tries, he sleeps. But if I have a plural subject, they, for example, or women or men, men go, men try, men sleep. But I wouldn't say men goes or men tries or men sleeps any more than I would say the teenagers goes, the teenagers tries, I would say the teenagers go, the teenagers try. See that? So if I have a singular subject, I have an S on the verb. If I have a plural subject, I have no S on the verb, which is why over here I have your formula that says plus or minus S. So here I say singular, look for the S. Plural, there will be no S. Okay, so let's go down here. Here are subjects that are always singular, always singular. Each, either, neither. Someone, one, everyone, anyone, and another. Somebody, nobody, everybody, anybody, and something, nothing, everything, anything. I want you to notice kind of a trend here. Look what's happening here. We've got ones, we've got bodies, and we've got things. So those trigger to us that when you see these words, they're singular. Okay? That's important because a lot of times we see these words and we still use the plural verb ungrammatically. It really happens with everybody and everything. A lot of people think everybody is every person as plural, and everybody always takes a singular verb, and everything always takes a singular verb. These all take singular verbs. So let me put this into perspective, as well as each, either, neither. Okay, each is singular. Since I know each is singular, I have to have the singular verb. Okay, so each is singular. Where's my singular verb? Has. How do I know it's singular? Has an S on it. Let's come over here. One. One is one. I mean, you can't get any more than one, right? So since one is one, I need to find my verb. Here's my verb. Okay, how do I know that my verb is singular to match my subject? Well, it has an S on it. Okay. So one shares a home with the shooter. One shares. Oh, there it comes, finally. Okay, one shares. What about of the suspects? How come suspects is not part of the subject? Because it's in a phrase. I'm not saying suspects, one and other suspect shares a home. I'm saying one of these people. So anytime you see a prepositional phrase, you're going to want to cross it out because it's not truly part of the subject. So come down here. It says a prepositional phrase starts with a preposition. In, on, to, of, including, as well, and, together with, in addition to, under, over, through. All of those are prepositions. They tell us where, they tell us how many, and they tell us the type. Well, let's go back up to this example. Of the suspects tells us the type of people we're talking about. It can't be part of the subject. So we're going to cross it out on the exam, and we're left with our singular subject, one, and then shares. How do I know shares is singular? It has an S on it. And remember, that's the verb form. Let's come down here to someone. Remember, someone is a one. So that's got to be singular. Where's our verb? Our verb is sings. Okay? How do I know that that verb is singular form? Because it has an S on it. It agrees with one. One sings to the birds every day. Well, what is this near the waterfalls? What is that? Well, waterfalls is not part of the subject, even though it looks like it's part of the subject and it looks plural. It's not waterfalls, it's near the waterfalls. Near tells us what? Location. It tells us where that someone is. So on the test, you can just cross out prepositional phrases, and you're left with someone, singular, sings, singular, someone sings. Let's go over to the next example. Everyone, well, that's a one. In class deserves to be heard. Well, our verb is deserves. It has to have a singular verb form. How do I know it's singular? Because it has an S on it. What do I do with in class? Is in class part of the subject? No, because in class is in prepositional phrase. How do I know it's a prepositional phrase? Well, it starts with the preposition in. And it tells us what? Where? Where are they? Where is that everyone? Where are everyone? They're in class. And even though it says everyone, it's not plural. It's every one person. So it's singular, okay? Let's come down to nobody shouts. No body is a body. That means it's always singular. So since it's always singular, where's our singular verb? Right there, shouts. How do I know it's singular? It has an S. Let's go to neither. Neither is singular. How do I know it's singular? It's in my list. And you can look at it as neither one. Well, then I need a singular verb if I have a singular subject. There it is. There's my verb. How do I know it's singular? It has an S on it. Let's come over here to nothing, including the opposing opinions of the witnesses. That's a lot of information. What's my true subject, though? My true subject is nothing. And it's a thing, so I know it's singular. Well, what do I do with including the opposing opinions? Opinions seems plural. It is, but remember, this is a prepositional phrase. How do I know it's a prepositional phrase? It starts with a preposition. So I'm going to cross it out. And then look at this, of the witnesses. Uh-oh, another prepositional phrase. How do I know it's a preposition? Prepositional phrase, because it starts with of, a preposition. So I got to cross that out too, everything out. So guess what happens? Everything gets crossed out before the verb except the true subject, which is nothing. And nothing's singular because it's in our list. Therefore, the verb that follows has to be in singular form. What's the verb? Influences. Okay, so there's my verb. How do I know it's singular? Well, there's the S that makes it singular. So the true subject and verb read this way. Nothing influences the jury. All the rest of that stuff you can cross out because they're prepositional phrases. Okay? See if we've got any questions. Let's see. I can't see the page you are on. You might want to refresh your screen because I do think I'm in screen sharing. Yeah, I'm so Lucy, my screen is sharing. Maybe you see it now. There might be a lag time on yours, Lucy, where the screen lags a little bit. Okay. And yeah, Manny, you're right that the sentence still makes sense if you take away that added information. How will this look on the test? I'll show you that. I'll be getting to that. So, in fact, let me show you a couple of sentences. And so that's great, Bruce, that you ask how that will look on the test. So let me take a couple of these and show you. So Bruce says, how will this look on the test? Well, let's take a look at number 1, for example. And let me put it out over here. So on the test, Bruce, this is what it would look. You have each has an opinion about the post-test. Okay, and then you'll have another one. Each have an opinion about the post-test. So on the test, it will look like this. It will look like A and B. So what you're going to be faced with, Bruce, as soon as it comes up, are these two, okay? So you're going to choose. And we know it's subject-verb because you can tell a subject-verb question because the only thing that's going to be different between the two answers is the verb. So as soon as you see that it's just the verb that's changed, it's a subject-verb agreement question. So the subject will always be the same in both questions because they're only going to change the verb to see if you can see that there's a difference in English about how to make verbs agree. So since each is singular, we have to have the singular verb form. Okay? We know our formula is singular equals S. So look at the verb. Which one of these has an S? Only this one. So I'm going to have to choose A because my subject, which is singular, matches my verb, which is in the singular form. But in B, the problem is you have a singular subject because it's going to be the same, but then you have a verb have. Well, a verb that has no S is in the plural form. Have has no S. So then I have singular plus plural. That can't equal. We have to either have singular plus singular or plural plus plural. But we can't have singular plus plural. We can't have it. Okay? That violates our rule of grammar. So that's how it will look on the test, Bruce. And that's an excellent question. Okay? And I have more at the bottom of the page that will show you how they'll look on the test. So we know that subjects cannot be in prepositional phrases. If they are, we have to cross them out. And we need to be left with the true subject. Some subjects are always singular. The ones that are always singular are in this list here. Okay, so if you see a body, thing, or one, you know it's got to be singular, or each, either, and neither by itself. Okay, so let me come down here and tell you which subjects are always plural. Subjects that are always plural are the ones that are joined by and. They're always plural, bar none. They're always plural. So that's easy. So let's look at our examples. Jack and Jill run up the hill. We don't say Jack and Jill runs up the hill. Here we have a plural subject, Jack and Jill. How do we know they're plural? Because they're joined by and. Okay, in this case. And then run, I need to have the plural form, so I'm going to put a P here for plural. And I have to have the plural form of the verb. Well, there's my verb run. How do I know it's plural? No S. How do I know it's plural? No S. How do I know a plural verb is plural? You will not see an S on it. Okay, let's come back down. The lieutenant and his deputies. Well, the lieutenant happens to be singular, right? There's only one lieutenant, but as soon as I joined and, then it's plural. Okay, so my plural verb is search. How do I know that's a plural verb form? No S. You don't see any S on search. It doesn't say searches. Okay, let me come over here and make this example for you. What if I said the deputies search? What if I don't have and? And just makes everything plural, but you can have plural subjects without and. Let me give you an example. We know that in English, to make a noun plural, you add an S. I'm not talking about the verb. To make a verb plural, you take away the S. To make a noun plural, you add the S. Okay? To make a subject plural, you add an S, or you add and. So here I don't have an and anywhere, right? There's no and in that sentence. But what I have is a plural subject because deputies, that's more than one deputy. So since I have a plural subject, I have to have a plural verb. How do I know that I have a plural verb? I have no S. On the exam, it'd look this way. Let me bring this up. It's the same sentence. Everything will be the same. Okay, here it is. Here, this is how it would look on the test. You would have the deputies searches for the crime scene or the deputies search for the crime scene. And your job, of course, is to say, okay, what are my verbs? My verbs are search and searches. So I'm going to make a box around that. I know it's a subject-verb question because only the verb changed. And now I'm going to go back and say, what is my subject? My subject is deputies. It's always going to be the same subject. They're only going to change the verb. So I'm going to say I have deputies, which is plural, because it's more than one deputy. And now where is my plural verb? Well, I know that my plural verb has no S. So I got to find the one that has no S. There's no S in my search here. So then I know that this question right here, this answer is the correct one because I have a plural subject, I have a plural verb form. How do I know it's plural? No S. Okay? I have a couple more rules to share with you, and then you're going to practice this. So here we go. The next rule I want you to go is Subjects can be either singular or plural. We don't know. We have to go looking for it. And those are the ones that have either or combined or neither nor combined. Now, how's that different than the singular up here? Either or. I said either and neither are singular. They're singular if they're by themselves. However, if they're combined with or nor, then you have to go look for the right form of the verb. So here's the rule on that. The rule is this. For neither nor, either or combinations, look to the subject closest to the verb. Look to the subject closest to the verb. So let's come down here for examples. It says either John or Maria. Okay? Well, this is the trick that I tell all my students to do, and it will make you right 100% of the time. If you get an either or question, put a right-facing arrow under the or. Okay? Put a right-facing arrow under the or, and it will point to the subject that you're going to make the verb agree with. Okay? So here the arrow is pointing to Maria. Well, Maria is singular. There's only one Maria in the sentence anyway. So I have to have a plural verb form. How do I know that's plural? It has an S. So Maria has the right of refusal. But either or questions can be plural. All you have to do is put a right-facing arrow under the or and look to see what it's facing. It's facing parents. Well, parents is a plural subject because it's more than one parent. So where's my verb? My verb is have. So if I have, okay, S might confuse you guys because I meant to say plural there. Even though that's my subject, I meant to say plural. Okay, so let me take this out. Parents is subject, but it's a plural subject. Therefore, I need a plural verb. Okay? The plural form of the verb is have. His parents have the right of refusal. Remember, I've got to go plural to plural or singular to singular. How do I know that's plural? It has no S on the verb. It has an S on the subject because we make subjects plural by adding S, but we make verbs plural by taking away the S. Let's look at another one. I have a neither nor combination this time. Same thing, put a right-facing arrow under the nor. And we have neither the subjects nor the resident greets. Okay? What's the subject? We don't pay attention to this now. All we look at is what comes after the nor. And what comes after the nor is resident. How many people are resident? One. So it's singular. Therefore, I need a singular verb. Where's my singular verb? It's greets. How do I know it's singular? Has an S on it. But neither nor can be plural. Let's see. Let's go over here. Neither the sheriff nor the residents. Well, there's my nor. I'm going to put a right-facing arrow under it. Therefore, I can ignore anything that comes to the left. And I'm going to see what it says. It says residents. That's plural. That's my plural subject. How do I know it's plural? We add S's to subjects to make them plural. More than one resident is residents. Well, therefore, my verb has to be plural. How do I know that verb is plural? It has no S. So plural goes to plural, singular goes to singular. Okay, I've got one more rule for you. If there's a sentence that starts with there, then there's a special rule for that. If a sentence starts with there, you must look to the subject immediately after the verb. After the verb. So let's go down to that one. There was one witness to the shooting. Okay, I don't know if there is singular or plural because there tells me nothing. I have to go to the right of the verb. Well, here's my verb was. And it says one witness. Well, how many people are one witness? One. So I have to have a singular verb that agrees. So if I have a singular subject was, then I better have a singular verb to agree. There's my verb was. How do I know it's singular? It has an S. But there can be plural. So let's go to the right of the verb. Here's my verb were. It has no S, so I know it's plural. Then my subject that follows better be plural too. Well, it says witnesses. Well, witnesses, several witnesses is a plural verb subject, right? More than one witness is plural. So if I have a plural subject and a plural verb, how do I know it's plural? No S. We have an agreement. Okay? So here's your task, everybody. What I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and do 1 through 8 and just go back to your notes and figure out what we're going to do. So you're experts in subject verb. You may not feel like experts, but you are now. And what I'm going to do is give you a good 6, 7, 8 minutes or so to go ahead and do these questions. And I'll be looking at my question board to see if you guys have any questions of me. Okay? So I will be back. Let's get going. So let's see on our exercises what we came up with. Okay? So number 1, and I'm just going to just check your answers with mine. Number 1, again, you know this is a subject verb agreement question. And the reason I know it is subject verb is because only the verb changes. So remember what I told you about neither nor questions? Neither nor questions, you put a right facing arrow under the nor on both questions. It points to what? Subcommittee members. Well, members is more than one member, right? We know that nouns become plural when we add an S to them. So not one member, but many members. So now that I know that this is plural, and remember the subject is going to be the same on both questions, only the verb is going to change. So now you just have to find the plural verb. Well, we know plural verbs have no S because of our formula says plural verbs have no S, and that's this one, right? So we always have to go plural to plural, subject to subject. That's my plural. So my correct answer is B. Okay, and now go to 2. We know that any question that starts with there, we have to go to the right of our verb. Where's our verb? Well, it's the only thing that changes in this sentence, or these sentences, I should say. So there's our verb. So what's to the right of the verb? It says clouds. Clouds. Well, not one cloud, but more than one cloud. So it's clouds, right? So clouds is plural. So since clouds are plural, then what we have to do is match our plural verb with our plural subject. So this is plural, and remember the subject will always be the same, plural, in this case. So our plural verb marker, if you care to call it that, our verb marker is are. How do I know are is plural? Because it has no S. Plural to plural, okay? 3. In this particular case, in 3, you have to know that research is a singular concept because research is a body of knowledge. Remember, anything that's a body is singular, okay? So I know that here's my verb, and it's the only thing that changes, again. Shows or show. If I know that research is singular, then I have to go after my singular verb. And my singular verb is the one that has an S on it. And in this case, it's A, 3A, right? So there's my match, singular to singular, correct answer A. And in 2, the correct answer was A. Okay, 3, Mary along with her cousins sings beautifully or sing beautifully. Here's my verb, sing or sings. Now here's a little tricky, and some of you are going to miss this one because you forgot of the concept. What's the true subject of the sentence? Mary, not cousins. Why isn't cousins part of the subject? Because it's in a prepositional phrase. Remember, along with is a preposition. It doesn't mean and. So remember, in prepositional phrases, we have to cross it out all the way to the verb. So if you thought cousins was part of this subject, then you would have missed this question. So we're left with Mary. And Mary is singular, right? Mary is singular. The subject's always going to be the same. So now go find your singular verb form. What's the marker? The marker for a singular verb is an S. So Mary sings beautifully. Therefore, our correct answer is A. Okay. Now here's an either or question in number 5. So we're going to put a right facing arrow under or. Okay. So what does it point to? Well, his bishops. Well, bishops is plural because it's more than one bishop, right? So if it's more than one bishop, we're going to have to find the plural verb to this. Well, what's our plural verb? Our plural verb has no S, R. And you can read it this way. You can say, his bishops are going to give the opening homily. His bishops are, not his bishops is. Okay? Plural subject has to have a plural verb form. Correct answer then is B. So let's look at 6. Each. We know each is always singular because it's in our list, and we can always tell our brain each one. Well, here's the Pope. Oh, sorry, not the Pope. Here's the teachers. The teachers. Some people are going to confuse teachers and think teachers is part of the subject and then think this whole sentence is going to be about plural. Well, teachers is not part of the subject because it's in a prepositional phrase, of the teachers. We know of is a preposition, and of the teachers tells us what type each is. So you're left with each are here or each is here. It is each is. Why? Because each is singular. We need to have the singular verb form. The singular verb form is what has an S, right? So our correct answer here is B. 7. The shooter, including the other robbers, was shooting at the officer. Okay, including is part of a prepositional phrase. Remember, that's part of our list, so I have to cross that out. And we're left with the shooter was shooting or the shooter were shooting. Well, if I know the shooter is just one person, it doesn't say the shooters, it says the shooter. Therefore, if I have a singular subject, I have to go with the singular verb. Here's my verbs. Which one is singular? It's the one that has an S. So I've got to match the shooter was shooting. So our correct answer is A. Let's look at 8. There, we have a there question, and anytime we have a there question, we look to the right of our verb. Here's our verbs. What's to the right of it? Paint, but not just paint because we have an and anything joined by and is always plural. So it says either paint and scratches or paint and flowers, but and makes anything plural automatically. So all we have to do is go, okay, where's our plural verb? Our plural verb is are. How do I know it's plural? There's no S. Correct answer A. How did you guys do? Will you guys type in real quick to me how many you missed? And if you got 100, that's awesome. But how many did we miss on this? Real quick, if you don't mind. Yes, I can explain. Sharif, I will go back to 4. Not bad, Manny. Not bad, Ashley. And I bet the ones, tell me if I'm wrong, but I bet the ones that you guys missed were the ones that had the prepositional phrases. Am I right? Did you miss the ones with prepositional phrases? So most people miss 3 or 2. 2, 3, 4. Still trying to grasp the concept. I totally understand. The nice thing is I am recording this session, and I just have to tweak YouTube a little bit. I think I have to render it in a different file format, but this is being taped so you can watch it again and again. Not that that's a pleasant way to spend a Sunday afternoon, but at least it's available to you. Okay. Yeah, you guys are saying, yes, it's because of those doggone prepositional phrases. Well, let me go back and explain 4, because I think, Sharif, I think you asked me to do that. Yes, 4, it was 4. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so let's take a look at 4. And let me clean it up a little bit. I got to be careful because if I don't hit this just right, it erases the entire page. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. There we go. All right. So here we are with number 4. And again, it's just too crowded, so and I'll even take this out. Okay. I'll take this out too so we see it. All right, everybody, here we are. So number 4, it looks like there's more than one subject, right? It looks like it's Mary and her cousins, right? And that seems plural. Most people would think that's plural. But the thing is, along with is a prepositional phrase. Along with means cross me out. Let me show you. Let me take this off eraser before I mess things up. A prepositional phrase starts with a preposition. Here's examples: in, on, to, of, including, as well as, together, wish, in addition to, as well as. As well as starts a prepositional phrase. A subject can never be in a prepositional phrase. You can never consider a prepositional phrase as part of a subject. It's just extra information about the subject, okay? And another way you can tell that you have a prepositional phrase, not only does it start with a preposition, but the preposition will tell you information of where that person is, or how many nouns there are, how many of the subject there is, and it will tell you the type of subject it is, like suspects or witnesses or teachers. That tells us the type of subject it is, okay? So let's go back to the next page with number 4. And since we know along with is a prepositional phrase, we have to cross out everything in that prepositional phrase. Everything in that prepositional phrase is along with her cousins. I can't cross out the verb because the verb is meaningful. The verb has to stand on its own. So if I cross out the prepositional phrase along with her cousins, I'm left with my true subject, Mary. Well, Mary is only one person. So